All right, I'm ready. So welcome to my Good Life Meditation for today, the 28th day of January 2025. I'm labeling this day tomorrow, of all things. The reason that's the case is that tomorrow looms very significant. It's the day that we meet with the realtor to get the keys to the new house. We're going to pay for it first. We're going to transfer all the money over and then pay for the house and then get the keys. We'll be doing that at 9:30 in the morning. So we'll have a full day after that to go back to our new home and assess things. So I need to plan out how I'm going to do this, which initially is going to mean a thorough videotaping and photography of the whole place. I'm going to go through and videotape everything inside and out and photograph everything and put it on in a folder, in a video folder on my phone for the purchase snapshot of the place. And that can be then used for a before and after, but I'm getting ahead of myself. But I do need to plan that out. If you're wondering what I do when I start these, I start every day off with I create a list for the day of all the things that I'm planning to do hour by hour. I've been doing that for years. And when I did it at work, I started off doing that to organize my work because I was a project manager and I would typically run 3 projects at once. So I would have to orchestrate the day so that each project, I would be diving in and out of each project throughout the day, meetings and tasks and action items. And it was the best way I could do this. I could keep this notebook handy with me. Now that I'm retired, I do the same thing, but instead of filling the activity with work-related things, I fill it with stuff that I want to do, which is a lot more fun. So that's why I'm labeling today tomorrow. So today's label is tomorrow. And by the way, if you are in my Discord, in the main chat session there, I create a thread for each day, and it's the same title, tomorrow. And what happens is that over the course of the day, I throw up comments and pictures as we're going. It's more detail. It's detail that I don't share on social media because it's too much, but it's all there on Discord. You can join. The Discord link is down below in the description of this video. So here's how things lay up. I was up at 4 o'clock, and between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock this morning, I caught up on all social media comments, including all the YouTube comments. I call that my engagement hour. And for the most part, I don't respond to comments any other time throughout the day. The rest of the day, I avoid responding unless it's something that pops up that I see that it needs an immediate response, which rarely happens. From 5 a.m., I then walk to Lawson Station, where I am right now. This is Lawson Convenience Store on the south side of Kusanagi Station here in Shizuoka. I'm typically here between 5:30 and 6 every morning. 5:30 to 6 because it depends on how distracted I get along the way. If I see something interesting along the way, make a couple of videos on the way down here, then I'm usually here around 6, closer to 6. Between 6, and it's not even 6 right now, it's 5:56, so I'm ahead of schedule. Between 6 and 6:30, I do my daily Good Life meditation. This is my daily exercise to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I'll start that in just a moment. From 6:30, I'll walk home. From 7 o'clock, I'll join my wife, should be up, and we'll do a dog walk. At 8 o'clock, that'll take us an hour. At 8 o'clock, I'll clean up, decide what outfit I'm going to wear for the day. And when my wife makes breakfast, I'll clean up, and then we'll have breakfast together. And that'll take us to 9 a.m. Give ourselves an hour for breakfast. We like to watch some shows together, remodeling shows, home remodeling YouTube shows together for that hour there. I love that I can do that now instead of going to work. Just unique when I can enjoy a leisurely breakfast with a couple cups of tea or coffee and before we start our day. And then at 9 o'clock the day will start in earnest. By the time my day starts in earnest, I've already got 5 hours of life under my belt today. So one of my objectives is the good use of time. And I try to squeeze more utility, as much utility into life before the sun comes up as I possibly can, because that's my best time. That's when I'm at my optimal, peak moments. Coffee or not, I wake up every morning at 4 a.m. just raring to go. It's like it's like a freight train. And it was even more so when I was young. I would literally jump out of bed when I was in my teens and 20s to fire up the day, and I would run to the window and I would throw open the curtains if I had curtains open, and I would say really loud, "Good morning." And it wasn't because I was so enthusiastic about the morning. It was because I was forcing myself to embrace the day, and because I guess even at a young age I realized that death was forever, and that I couldn't waste a single day. Oh, by the way, I need to do my disclaimer. Those of you who are new subscribers to the channel, and boy, are there a lot of you, hundreds and hundreds of you new subscribers. If you're seeing this video, you're going, what the heck? What's this have to do with Japan? That's about all the Japan you're going to get out of this video. It's a convenience store. Here's a brochure. It's Japan. Put that back. These Good Life meditation videos have nothing to do with Japan, other than the fact that incidentally I happen to be in Japan while I do them. This is a disclaimer. You won't want to watch these videos, and they're very easy to find. They're always titled The Good Life. There's always the sunshine at the start, and there's always one every day at roughly this same time, and it's always live. You don't want to watch these videos if you don't want to hear some of the things I talk about. I talk about death. I talk about suicide sometimes. I talk about heavy subjects. I talk about atheism. I talk about my problems, my challenges. The other guy talk about the good things too. This is my reflective time to tune my life and to prepare myself for the day ahead, so that I make good use of the day and I don't let it waste. And I do that by organizing my thoughts, reflecting on the past 24 hours, remembering my creed, and preparing for the coming 24 hours. So with that disclaimer in hand, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the Good Life meditation is something that I do, as I said prior, each and every day, usually early in the morning, shortly after waking up. I do this to remember my objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, which is available via the links in my YouTube store, on Amazon. Just go into any bookstore and ask for it. They'll get it if they probably, I'm sure they don't have it in stock, but they'll get it for you if they want. I recommend the hardbound edition. There's a chapter in the book called The Good Life, where I outline the 8 objectives and 35 principles of my creed, a format and a plan for living that I cobbled together through 60 years of life that seems to work pretty damn well, actually. And I do this, again, to see how I did yesterday with the challenges and the opportunities that I met, and to prepare for today. So with that, let's begin. When you see me, if you join these early and I'm just sitting here writing and I'm drinking coffee and not talking to the camera, that's because I'm preparing my notes. So the last 24 hours, in terms of challenges and opportunities, the only challenge I saw was, this is a strange one. It's going to date myself. I'm a boomer. I was born in 1964, which is the last year of the boomers. So I'm an authentic boomer. My wife, I have to get used to my wife driving. I'm one of those old school guys that if I'm with my wife, I usually drive. But I've encountered this fatigue in the last couple of years that strikes when I'm driving. And doctors in the United States they diagnosed me as having sleep apnea. I chose to ignore that. And for several reasons, but I chose to ignore that and just carry on and not drive, because my family was over here and I just kind of, for the most part, didn't drive. But now I'm back in Japan and I'm driving, and I still have this fatigue issue, and I'm going to address it. I know what the issue is. It's sleep apnea. I'm going to see a doctor here, get diagnosed, get checked out, diagnosed, and I'll do whatever the hell they tell me to do. But in the meantime, because I am not safe when I'm in roughly after mid-morning, my wife drives. And it's taken me a little while to get used to that. So I would say that yesterday was a day where I sat in the passenger seat while my wife drove us around town. And I looked at that and I said, okay, this is a challenge for you because you're that kind of guy that wants to be in the driving man, right? And I said, this doesn't make sense. Miko's a perfectly capable and fine driver. She's and she doesn't suffer from this problem that I have. It makes sense. So why don't I, instead of sitting here and fussing about it, feeling like less of a man because my wife's driving me around, why don't I try to accept that and leverage it in a better way? So I did. So I turned to looking out the window at the Japan zipping by me and having my camera at the ready, and I snapped a few interesting little videos that I shared on YouTube, one of which was the video yesterday of the forklifts loading the gullwing truck, which got some interesting comments from people who said they've never seen anything like that. And it's true. I don't think I've ever seen a gullwing truck like that, and Japanese trucks are interesting. So that was an example of recognizing a challenge, something that upset me, that I couldn't drive, using reason to think about it, looking at the options, which are one option was to fret and fuss about it, which serves nobody any good. The other option was to realize that this is indeed this condition that I'm in, and to try to see a way to make advantage of that. Now, if the doctor prescribes like the machine, the apnea machine, or whatever they do, and they can help me out, then and I get better, then I'll go back to driving. If not, then I'll resign myself to my wife driving. Oh, there was another thing that struck me yesterday I'll talk about, which was, I'll call that after Yumiko. I'll talk about that right now, actually. So the other thing that I had to think about yesterday that was a challenge was due to a comment that came somewhere in social media. I wish I could remember where. And by the way, if someone shows up and sits next to me here, I'll lower my voice. I know it's already a little hard to hear me, so I'll crouch in. Someone had mentioned, I had made a comment about how, and I'm going to make a separate video about this. In fact, I might make it this morning. I'd made a comment about how my wife takes care of me in Japan, and she's in the drive, not just figuratively or not just literally in the car, but in fact, in everything. I don't speak Japanese. I certainly can't read it, other than very basic, writing. and I can, I can very basically converse. And that's always been the case. I've lived here for 15 years. I don't think that's going to change. It's not me necessarily giving up. It's just recognizing the reality of what will likely happen. My wife and I have talked about this. We've been at this road before. She takes the lead in all things, like yesterday, seeing the doctor yesterday. When questions were asked of me, if I understood the question, I answered. I may always make the first attempt, but if I don't, my wife will step in for me and help me out. Before coming back to Japan, we talked about this, and she said basically, she said she's okay with facilitating me and helping me out in that way in Japan, as long as I'm okay with letting her do that, because that's been an issue for me in the past. It's no longer an issue for me, because how do I find a way to say this? I don't feel like I have anything to prove anymore, although I know that sounds like I don't care, and it sounds lazy, like I should be trying to learn Japanese, etc. I'm all right with that status quo. And putting it out there, this is good. This is one of the reasons it's good to talk it out. Putting it out there sounds bad, and I guess I'll have to live with that. But I know that's just the way it's going to be. And it was one of the understandings we reached when we decided to come back to Japan. So that's beside the point. That discussion has already been had between my wife and I, and an agreement has been met. But the question that came up yesterday that I want to address now was, what if Yumiko dies before me? And then I'm on my own. Well, I don't want to be a burden to my daughter, who lives here in Japan. She lives in Tokyo. I don't want to be a burden to her. So I had to give that some thought yesterday. So I hadn't. And I think that what would happen if my wife dies first, and I'm still in this helpless state that I'm in, is that I would probably return to America to finish my life, where I could at least be conversant with doctors, fill out forms, etc., at least into my old age, right? And I could do that. So, I could effectively maintain a household here and in America both. Maybe I should consider doing that. Interesting, thinking out loud. I mean, it's not something I'm going to do tomorrow or even next year, but, sometime in this decade of the 60s, maybe I should consider buying a house in the United States. Certainly not in Los Angeles. I could never afford to buy a house there. But someplace, reasonable, go back to the United States, maybe after the dogs are gone, to Yumiko, and tour, maybe buy or rent a motorhome and tour the country and find someplace nice and buy a house somewhere. And then have that place. And, all likelihood is that I'll go first, and Miko will be just fine because everything's paid for here, and she's got a lifetime income. But if she goes first, then I'm going to be a burden to my daughter, unless I can learn Japanese, which probably isn't going to happen. So that's going to be the plan A. Well, the plan A is for me to die first. Plan B is that if Yumiko dies first, then I'll probably go back to America and finish life there. Okay, that's another example of utilizing reason to try to sort things out and figure things out. Now, you could also say, we use reason to just learn Japanese. Yeah, that reasonably makes sense. It's not going to happen. So I know myself well. Another one of my objectives is to recognize true limits and true opportunity, and that's a true limit that I choose not to push past. I would like to blame it on my inherent nature. I don't think I can do that. I think with enough will I could learn Japanese. It's just not important enough to me. That's a deep well to go down if I chose to. Not now. Okay, so that's the last 24 hours. Those are the two things I had to think about yesterday. One was dealing with my wife driving, wearing the pants in the car. You should have seen me putting up. No. And then two was thoughts about what to do after if Yumiko dies before me. Okay, now as for the objectives, my creed consists of the following 8 objectives. I don't go into detail about them very much. I typically just list them. It's almost like a rosary, right? Touching, saying the things as you go, and just the doing it sets them in your mind. So 8 objectives are: 1, to be always ready to die. 2, to make good and effective use of my time. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions relative to my creed. 6, to recognize true limits and true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully. And 8, to keep my balance, my equanimity in both body and mind. All right, now as for today, what are the plans for today? The next 24 hours. Well, after 9 o'clock, the agenda options are, Yumiko and I are going to go to a store called Workman Plus, which is a place that you can get clothing for the workman life. Construction workers, that kind of stuff. Because we are buying coveralls for our new DIY life, and hats and all kinds of stuff, and boots, and I even got a tool belt. So we'll go to Workman Plus, and we'll probably go to the tool store too, because I want to get some basic tools, screwdrivers, hammers, stuff like that. Also, we're going to begin to assemble power tools. I think we're going to start off with, we've decided on the Makita line. We've looked at various, Makita, DeWalt, Ryobi, different lines, and we've decided on Makita as the one we're going to go. We picked a store that has a good Makita line, and we're going to get things like Makita driver, circular saw, but we're going to start off with, I think, the Makita power clippers. We've been watching YouTube videos of people here in Japan renovating homes and gardens in places like ours, and we noticed it's a lot of work taking the roots out of the bamboo forests, because we do have a bamboo forest in our backyard. And the power clipper, you just kind of loosen the soil, and you go in there with the power, and it cuts through the roots. We like that. So we're probably going to start off, we're going to see if they have one, and we'll start off with that. We got some great advice from you folks, thank you, regarding this. And one great piece of advice was to make sure that we choose a voltage for the power tools that makes sense. We're going to go with the 8-volt line, so that way we have batteries that are suitable. But the one question we do have is, some tools may require more than 8 volts. I don't know, because Yumiko asked her very practical questions. She said, why are there different voltages? And I said, well, maybe different tools need different power, and you're giving up longevity for oomph. So we'll talk to the Makita people. Well, Yumiko will talk about it, because I don't talk to people very well here. So she'll talk, and then we'll talk and decide. So we'll go there today. That's one thing we'll do. So as for my outfit today, I think today I might dress like this, because we're going to be doing workman store. It's a fun thing I do. It's like when I had a job, I would, put on appropriate clothes every day for that. But now that my job is my life, is retirement, I pick the outfits based on what I'm going to be doing. I talked about this yesterday, whether that be this for my personal stuff, my nice outfits. I have really nice clothes now that Yumiko helped me buy from when I'm spending time with my wife, or the jumpsuit for the DIY life. I might wear a dress like this today because we're going to a rugged outdoor, workman store, right? But what else are we going to do today? First contact plan. Oh, I'm going to come up with a first contact plan. Okay, rough. What that means is when we get the key tomorrow at around 9:30 in the morning, we'll drive over to our house, and probably around before 11, we'll arrive at our house with our little car. We'll go inside, and here's the first contact plan. I'm going to lead with the camera. I'm going to film every room, make a nice 360 up and down of the room. Probably with no, should I talk? Yes, I should talk, because I can always edit the voice out if I want to. And then after I do the video of it, as is, I'll also take snapshots of everything, one room at a time. Then by the end of the day, I'll take all those photos and videos, I'll sort them into my iPhone Photos app into a folder within an album. The album is our home in Yada, and then a folder for the I'll call first contact. Yeah, it'll all be in there. First contact plan is ready. As for that, after we're done with all that, we'll come down. So I think we'll be done. That'll take us through the morning, and then it'll be noon. We'll have lunch with Dad, with my wife's father, and dog walk. That'll take us to 1. And from 1 p.m. I expect I'll be pretty much free at that point. I'm discovering that I have about 7 hours of free time every day, which is, well, it's more than that, given this morning time that I have. But 7 hours, because this is like work, right? I mean, doing all this and doing this is like a job. But I literally have I have about 2 or 3 hours in the morning and about 4 or 5 hours in the afternoon, which totals up to about 7 hours of just floating time. Now, as soon as we get the house, we'll fill that time with DIY time. But today, which is the last day without it, I'll probably take a hike, an urban hike. Should I take Rudy with me? Yes. Rudy's my dog. I'm worried sometimes that I'm wearing him out when I take him on those long hikes, because he's got three big dog walks otherwise, because we've got another one shortly thereafter. What we do is if I take a long afternoon hike, by the time I get back, okay, so that'll take us to 1 to 5, and then by 6 we have another dog walk. See what I mean? If I take him for a 3-hour walk with me, and then come back and take him for another hour walk with Yumiko. No. 6 o'clock is dinner, and then 7 is final dog walk. 8 is bath, and then by 9 o'clock I'm in bed. Okay, I've got the whole day mapped out. Final thing to do in my good life meditation is to ask myself if I'm ready to die. This is a critical element. I know this is unsettling to people. This is why I have the disclaimer when I start these videos that I'll talk about death, and I talk about it every day. It's very important to me I don't believe in God. I don't believe in an afterlife. I don't think I have a soul, that any of us do, and that once I'm dead, this is the end, and that it's oblivion for all eternity. So with that sober thought in mind, it's very important to me that I both live well and die well. Dying well means that I'm leaving things in good state. 3 things in particular. 1, I need to make sure that my affairs are in order, so that my wife and daughter don't suffer, or confusion, or upset, or suffer, poverty, whatever the case may be. I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, you know what I mean? What if because I'm in charge of all the finances in the household. What if I die and my wife has no idea where the money is and how to access it? That's bad. So I need to make sure our affairs are in order. I need to make sure number 2 is that my relationships are sound, that I don't have anybody that I have unfinished business with, that I had harsh words with, and that I don't want to die, and they're like, oh, I wish I could have talked to that person. Do I have anybody like that? That's the question. And then the third one is my life's work complete? Have I done everything that I wanted to do, or if not complete, in a clean state? Am I wearing clean underwear, basically? You might be in a bus crash. Are you wearing clean underwear, right? So I ask myself these questions each and every day. So here we go. 1, are my affairs in order? If I die right now, today, will my wife have access to the money, and will she be cared for the rest of her life? The answer to that is yes and yes, by 2 counts. 1, I've given her documentation where all the bank accounts are. She's a joint because she's joint on those accounts. She has full access to them and custody. And also I made her my beneficiary for my pension. So that if I die, I've set up my pension in such a way that we don't get as much every month, but if I die, she gets 100% of it for the rest of her life. So she's in good shape. The trick is and I also set things up so that the pension fund, any correspondence from the pension fund goes to an electronic mail forwarding system, and she has access to that. So like if the pension fund contacts us, has a question, she can access that and see what that is, right? So that's really important too, because if you don't keep in contact with your pension fund, and they can shut off benefits. So that's all set up. Financial mechanisms are all set up for her. She's good. And she's my beneficiary for the rest of her life. And I can't tell you what peace of mind that is to me, to know that if I die, Yumiko doesn't have to worry. We could have gotten a lot more money now. Maybe a lot isn't the right word. More money now, and then suffered a reduction, and that might have made sense because you think, well, Kurt, you're dead, which does she need 100% of the pension if you're dead? Probably not. But I thought about it when I was deciding, and I talked with her about it. I thought about it more than I talked with her about it, because I thought because I know that she would have said, oh, let's take the option for a reduction, because she's practical that way. But it was my pension, my choice. I chose that. And it makes me feel really good to know that she'll be cared for. So number 1, are the affairs in order? Are the relationships sound? Or is there anybody that I have unfinished business with? No. I don't have anybody that I haven't told them already that I love them and that I've kept in good contact with, etc., etc. Number 3 is my life's work complete. Now, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have said complete. I would have said in a ready state. I've written 4 books. I've raised a daughter. I've completed a career. I've had a good long marriage of almost 38 years. These things are at the end of they're at the tail end. This is the wrap up time. Even though hopefully I have another good 10 years of good life left in me, and I mean what I mean that is I expect. Hopefully I have another 20 years, but as many good years as possible. We'll see. All those things are in good shape. So my daughter's raised, independent, on her own. My books are all written. My career is done. My marriage is good. So yeah, my life's work is complete. I can die right now and leave the world pleased with the result. So yeah, I'm ready to die. I don't want to die. I got more stuff I want to do, but if it do die today, then I will do so without a single backwards glance. I won't look backwards saying, oh, I wish I could have done this. Or I won't look back and say, oh, I need to look into the face of my daughter one more time. Or I won't look back and say, oh, did I forget to tell you, Miko, the password? I know all those things are taken care of. So die in peace. I can die in peace. All right, that's the end of my good life meditation. Let's see if there's any comments, and then I'll wrap this up and go home for breakfast. And there's been a lot of new people, so a lot of new names that I didn't know before. Let's see. There's one right there. Forgive me if I get your names wrong, folks. Balent Cap, hello to you. Blue Tanuki, very long-term friend of mine, and and also a friend over in Discord too, says, learning Japanese would be a lot cheaper than buying a second home in the States. It would be, but I won't. And Udatsu Family Adventures. Udatsu Family Adventures. Yeah, the roots are important. Bamboo is really invasive. Now, I'm curious about you in Udatsu Family Adventures. This is the second time I've seen your name here. The name of your channel alone, and that's what I was just writing down. I'm going to check your channel out. Your channel sounds like, I'm wondering if you're up to something like what we're doing. I'm gonna check your channel out to see what's up with that. I told my wife about this. I said, hey, there was somebody commenting that their channel name sounds very intriguing, so I wrote it down. Thanks for the tips about the bamboo shoots. Annabella Simone says, hello from Portugal. Hello, greetings in Portugal. Udatsu Family Adventure continues. I feel like getting dressed appropriately is important to get into the mindset of getting things done, whatever the plan is for the day. I agree with you completely. And even though I don't have the new room, in our new house, Yumiko and I are each going to have our own room. It's a 6-mat tatami room each up on the second floor. We share a balcony that overlooks the backyard and the river. And my room doesn't have a closet, so I'm going to get one of those like little hanging wardrobe things, and I'm going to have 3 outfits, Udatsu Family Adventures. One will be my outfit, like I said earlier, this outfit for what I call the walking in Japan, solo adventure stuff. Second outfit will be the outfits that I wear with my wife, which are very nice outfits that Yumiko helped pick out for me before I came back to Japan, so that I can look good for her, and I'll actually clean my hair up and put a little product in, and I want to look presentable when I go out with my wife, because she always looks good, and I want to look good on her side, and I do feel that way when I dress up that way. And the third will be the orange coverall. My wife calls me oranjihito, that I will be wearing when I do DIY. And you're right, putting on the right outfit, it's like a uniform that gets set for the mindset. And I can't believe I'm 60 years old and just discovering that. I guess better late than never. Juno the Rail fan, that would be Journey. Hi Journey, good morning Kurt, another friend from Discord and a huge fan of trains. Annabella Simone says, yes, please talk, you have such a soothing voice. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I've been told that over the years. People tell me they go, I don't know if this could be taken, how this could be taken. They tell me they turn my videos on to help them fall asleep at night. I'm looking forward to the next step. Udatsu Family Adventure says, I'm looking forward to the next step on your journey with the house. Thank you. Journey had a message retracted. I wonder what she said, Journey. Sometimes I worry about you out on those tracks, Journey. Annabella Simon says, so am I. So I'm not sure what that was referring to. But Blue Tanuki says, and if your wife has passed, but you have grandchildren in Japan, you might find a way to stay in Japan. That's a good point, something I hadn't thought about. You're right. Now, the way technology is going, Blue Tanuki, in the next 10 years, I imagine that I'm going to have an AI assistant in my pocket all the time that will be, even if Yumiko passes first, it will just sit with me, and I can lean on it for the Japanese. So maybe I can stay for that. I'm glad you pointed that out. If there's grandchildren in the picture, I would probably want to find a way to stay. See, this is so helpful. Thank you. Udatsu Family Adventure says, American wife, okay, here's your bio. American wife, Japanese husband, left you a comment on today's video with more explanation. Thank you. Yeah, when I saw you last time, I went back to find your name, but these comments on the live don't stick around. So I was like, it was something family adventure, something. Now I got it. Thanks for the information. American wife, Japanese husband. So you're in the same universe and separate, but a different, very different paradigm, right? Yeah, interesting. And then Arisa, okay, here's where you guys get to see how bad my Japanese is. Arisa says, and I have my squint my eyes, Ohayo gozaimasu. Okay, that I can do. Good morning. Anonymous says, First time joining you live. There's an interesting clash between the solemn nature of meditation and the atmosphere in the convenience store. Very close to the way of life and death really are. That's a heavy observation, Anonymous. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. I gotta just sit on that for a second. I really, really appreciate that comment. I appreciate all of your comments, but I really especially appreciate comments that push my thinking, expand the horizon a little bit, like that one. Wow. Juno Journey says, can't wait to see you and Molly do a video watching the Shinkansen at that station again, like the old video. Love the old classic train videos and can't wait for that recreation 5 feet from one. So that's three things you said there, Journey. One is I talked to Molly about that already. Those of you who don't know, Molly's a friend of the channel and a friend of mine here in Japan. And I said, Molly, we got to go down to the train station, the Shinkansen station, and do that. And he thought that was a good idea. We'll try to do that. Second thing, the 5 feet from the Shinkansen. I know where to do that. It's on my bucket list, not my bucket list, my list, Journey. And the third thing was, I was reached out yesterday, Journey, on Facebook by a group on Facebook called like Japan Train Fans or something like that. I can't remember. And I was one of the admins over there and invited me to join the group and post my train videos over there. And I did, and it's a huge group, like 27,000 people. So Journey, if you're not a part of it, send me a message and I'll send you the link, Journey. But it's a group on Facebook that does just trains, and just Japan trains, and I'm gonna be posting over there now. Ujitsu Family Adventure says, oh, you can call me April. Okay, April. I love that name. LOL, I should have said that earlier. Definitely noticed the change with the 2 to 3 U's throughout your daily video. The 2 to 3 U's. I don't know what that means. I'm sure it'll dawn on me all of a sudden as well. April, forgive me if it takes me just a little 2 or 3 shots of like, what was your name? And I wrote it down here. I will get it. And I'm wondering, April, are you by chance, I know a lot of people aren't a fan of X, but over on the X platform, we have a group called the Gaijin Twitter, it's a community called the Gaijin Twitter community. And there's a couple of folks like us. Most notably, I'm thinking of my friend Ricky, who lives up in Tokyo. She's like you. Her husband is Japanese. She's a movie director in Tokyo, television and film and TV director in Japan, in Tokyo. Very interesting woman. Speaks Japanese fluently. She wears kimono every day, and we have a great time. She's a good friend of mine over there. I don't know why I'm thinking of you with that regard to that, because you're in that same kind of boat. I'm wondering, April, are you here in Japan now? Ujitsu Family says that is really profound, Anon. It really is, isn't it? I'm glad you appreciate that as well, April. Yeah, and those of you that are new may not know, but the book that I wrote, my main book, Going Alone, was set in the deep desert of America while I was back there in the deep solitude of America. So talking about the Good Life Creed, which I developed in solitude here in a place like this, is quite a juxtaposition, is it not? Thank you, Anand. Ujitsu Family, or April goes on, oh, have you ever watched the solo travel videos of train travel in Japan? I also like the ferry videos as well. I think I have. It's not ringing a bell, but I think I have. It's not like I said, it's not ringing a bell, but maybe I've encountered it. I'm bad with names. And April goes on, the hiking version and going out with your wife version, then looking forward to the DIY version. Yeah, you got it, the 3 versions. The DIY version will be making his debut tomorrow. And Alex, another new name I haven't seen before. Hello from Puerto Rico. Wow, we've got a real international group here. Portugal, Puerto Rico, Journeys down in Georgia. I'm not sure where April is, maybe in Japan, maybe somewhere else. April says, we're in the planning process of moving over, figuring out working, selling our house, finances, work, etc. So you're basically, I know the feeling. let me know. I'm sure you've got it all figured out, April, but if you have any questions along the way, let me know. On curiosity, where are you moving from? And by the way, someone has just sat down, so I'm going to lower my voice and probably wrap up soon. Solo travel and travel geeks are good train travel channels. I'm going to write that down. Solo travel geek. It's interesting you talk about solo travel, April. Is that something you're interested in? You'd be in good company. Journey says, oh, and by the way, tell Molly I said, hey, haven't chatted with him since 2022. I will do that. In fact, I'm going to walk past the school where he and I both worked in just a minute, and I'll send him a photo and a hi from you. I love the cab ride videos that people do on the metros in Chicago. So is Journey. With that, folks, I'm going to wrap up for the day. There's someone here, and I'll just read. There's the comment from April. Thank you so much. Phoenix area, moving to Osaka area for the hospitals. The daughter has spina bifida, so we have to be nearby bigger hospitals. Got it. And wishing your daughter all the best, and you and your family. And like I said, April, let me know if you ever want to talk about this stuff. I can be reached. You can find all my contact information, but my email is real simple: dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com. Just like it sounds, dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com. If you ever have any questions or want to talk about the big move. Okay, Kurt, have a good day. Journey says, man, I hope to see some trains in the next video. Journey, I'm going to be walking home now. I'm going to try to grab a shot of the Shinkansen rolling by just for you. I'll send it to you in Discord. April says, great session today. I'll definitely keep in touch. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, April. Thank you, Journey. Thank you, all of you who have joined. Take care. And as always, be safe, but not too safe. Take care. Bye-bye.